Here's a question I want you to sit with for a second. What if making more money is actually the thing that keeps some people broke? I know that sounds backwards, but there are people in this country earning $300,000 a year who are more financially stressed right now, today, than someone making $55,000. And no, I'm not exaggerating. It happens every single day because most people treat their income like it's the destination, and it's not. It's the starting point. The real question, the one nobody's actually answering with specifics, is what do you do with that income? What's the right move at $50,000 that would totally backfire at $150,000? What works perfectly at $100,000 that becomes completely inadequate at $300,000? Because here's the thing, financial priorities don't just shift as income goes up, they completely change. So today, I'm building 4 entirely different financial roadmaps, one for each income level: $50K, $100K, $150K, $300K. Each one has different priorities, different traps, and different strategies. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do, what to avoid, and what to focus on based on your income right now. No generic save more, spend less advice. We're getting specific. Let's go. Here's the problem with most personal finance content out there. It assumes you're some average person in some average situation, and that kind of advice sounds good, but helps almost nobody because the math, the strategy, and honestly, the psychology, all of it changes depending on where your income actually is. A strategy that's genuinely powerful at $50,000 might be completely irrelevant at $150,000, and advice designed for high earners can make someone making $50,000 feel like they're failing when they're actually doing great. So we're going to fix that. Let's start at the bottom and work our way up. Let me introduce you to someone named Marcus. He's 27, works as a logistics coordinator in Columbus, Ohio. He graduated college, landed this job, and most months he's making it work, but every month feels a little like a tightrope walk. Saving feels almost impossible. Investing feels like something for people with more cushion. Here's what I'd tell Marcus, and here's what I'd tell you if this is your income level. It's not impossible. It just requires a different approach. First, let's be honest about the math. At $50,000 a year, your monthly take-home after federal taxes, Social Security, and Medicare lands somewhere around $3,500 to $3,800, depending on your state. That's your working capital. Everything in your life has to come from that number. And the real talk, housing, food, transportation, and utilities will probably eat 70 to 75% of that, which leaves maybe $600 to $800 for everything else. Savings, fun, emergencies, car repairs, all of it. So here's the priority order at $50,000. 1. Your emergency fund is your first wealth-building move. I know that sounds counterintuitive. Shouldn't you invest first? No, not yet. Here's why. Without an emergency fund, every unexpected bill goes on a credit card, and credit card debt at 22 to 26% interest is the single most effective wealth destroyer in the middle class. Before you open a brokerage account, before you even think about stocks, build $8,000 to $12,000 in a high-yield savings account. That's your financial immune system. Without it, one broken transmission puts you back 3 months. 2. Get every dollar of your employer's 401k match. If your company matches 3% of your salary, that's $1,500 a year in completely free money. Free money. That's a 100% instant return on your contribution. Nothing in the stock market can beat that. This is where your investing journey starts at $50K. 3, and this is the one most people skip, invest in your income. At $50,000, the most powerful financial lever you have isn't your savings rate, it's your earning potential. A certification, a higher paying company, a skill that adds $8,000 to $15,000 to your annual salary, these single decisions change the entire trajectory. Marcus isn't stuck at $50K forever, but he has to be intentional about changing that. Now here's the trap I need you to avoid: lifestyle inflation before you have any margin. The first real raise comes in, and the temptation is immediate. upgrade the apartment, get a nicer car, eat out more. And suddenly, the raise is gone. The raise should build security before it builds lifestyle, every single time. The budget split that realistically works at 50K is about 70 to 75% on genuine needs, 10 to 15% on life, your wants, and the unexpected, and at minimum 10% going to savings. Right now, that means building the emergency fund and capturing the employer match. That's the entire game at this stage, and it's enough to start. Here's something genuinely powerful. Even $370 a month invested consistently from age 25 can grow to over $1.3 million by retirement with normal market returns. You don't need a huge income. You need time and consistency. Now we move to $100,000. And this is where things get exciting, and also where a lot of people quietly destroy their financial future without ever realizing it. Meet Sarah. She's 33, a project manager at a tech firm in Denver, Colorado. She worked hard, crossed 6 figures 2 years ago, and honestly, she feels like she's finally made it. New apartment in a great part of town, newer car, weekend trips, nice dinners. She's living it. She's also saving almost nothing. This is what I call the 6-figure illusion. People hit 100K and feel like they've arrived, but arriving somewhere and building something are completely different things. At 100K, your take-home lands around $6,200 to $7,100 a month, depending on your state and filing status. That genuinely sounds like a lot until you realize what a slightly nicer life costs in 2025. The biggest wealth killer at this income level isn't bad investments. It's spending that grows in perfect sync with your earning. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. Your expectations automatically adjust to whatever you're making. You stop noticing that your lifestyle cost $1,200 more this year than last year because it happened gradually. And it feels earned, but it's silently closing the gap between you and real wealth. Here's the target at 100K. A 17 to 20% gross savings rate. That's roughly $17,000 to $20,000 a year flowing into retirement accounts and investments. Not all at once, automatically, every paycheck before you can second guess it. This is the income level where automation becomes your most powerful financial tool. Max your 401k contribution. Open a Roth IRA. Set up automatic transfers the day your paycheck hits. Out of sight, out of mind, but growing silently in the background. Compound interest doesn't care how busy your life is. It just keeps working. Tax-advantaged accounts matter enormously here. In 2025, you can put up to $23,500 into a 401k. If you're in your 30s, that's both a shield against your tax bill and a massive accelerator for your long-term wealth. And here's a habit almost nobody talks about. Grow your savings rate with every single raise. Don't let the whole raise become lifestyle. When you get a 5% raise, commit half of it to investing before you ever adjust your spending. That one habit, done consistently for a decade, is how people at 100K retire as millionaires while their coworkers are still working at 68. The budget structure that works at 100K? Roughly 50% on needs, 25 to 30% on wants, and a firm 20% into investments. That's your wealth building window. Protect it like it's a bill you can't miss. $150,000. Now we're talking serious wealth building potential. And also serious wealth destruction potential if you're not paying attention. Here's the reality check that might sting a little. A high income is not the same as high wealth. Not even close. Let me tell you about David and Maria. Married couple, combined income of $150,000, living in the suburbs of Minneapolis. They've got a nice house, nice mortgage to match, 2 car payments, every streaming service known to mankind, meal kit subscriptions, an annual ski trip, summer vacation, the gym membership they use twice a week, and when they sit down at the end of the month, there's almost nothing left. Each individual spending decision made total sense in the moment. A nicer house when income went up, reasonable. A car that feels appropriate for their income, reasonable. A vacation they genuinely worked hard for, reasonable. But together, those reasonable decisions have built a wall between them and actual wealth. This is lifestyle creep syndrome, and at $150,000, it is everywhere. Here's the math that should change your perspective. A $150,000 income with a 5% savings rate is dramatically worse financially than a $75,000 income with a 25% savings rate over time. Income without savings rate is just a more expensive lifestyle, not wealth. The target at $150K is 20 to 25% of gross income into investments and retirement. That's $30,000 to $37,500 a year flowing toward your financial future. Non-negotiable. Automate it and treat it like a fixed expense. This is also where tax strategy stops being optional. At $150,000, you may be in the 22 or 24% federal bracket. That means smart use of pre-tax 401k contributions, health savings accounts, and potentially a backdoor Roth IRA can save you thousands of dollars every single year. Dollars that stay invested and compound for decades instead of going to the IRS. At this income level, asset allocation becomes a real conversation. You're past survival mode. You're past just get the employer match. Now you're asking, what's actually in my portfolio? Am I diversified? Do I understand my risk exposure for someone my age? These questions matter a lot at $150,000, and most people never ask them. The budget framework that makes sense here is about 45 to 50% on needs, 25% on wants, and 25% going directly to building wealth. The gap between what's coming in and what's building wealth, protect that gap fiercely. David and Maria don't need to become monks, but they do need to be intentional rather than letting spending happen by default. The biggest shovel, and why it's still not enough for some people. $300,000 a year. Sounds like the answer to every financial problem, right? It's not, and here's the proof. Studies consistently show that a significant percentage of Americans earning over $250,000 report living paycheck to paycheck or feeling financially stressed. That's not a talking point. That's a real phenomenon, and it has a real cause. The more you earn, the more expensive your problems become, and the more expensive your life becomes without you even noticing it. Picture a physician couple in the greater Seattle area. Combined, they're bringing home somewhere around $300,000 net. And their life looks like this. Private school tuition for 2 kids, a $1.4 million home with a jumbo mortgage, 2 German luxury vehicles, a vacation property in the mountains, country club dues, multiple insurance policies, ongoing charitable commitments. That's not a wealthy life. That's a high-income, high-obligation treadmill. If either of them loses their job or wants to stop working in 10 years, the whole thing collapses. Because their wealth isn't in investments, it's in their lifestyle. At $300,000, the stakes are completely different. The mistakes are bigger, but the opportunities, if you have the discipline to use them, are genuinely life-changing. Here's the target at $300K. 25% of gross income into wealth building. At $300,000, that's $75,000 a year directed toward your financial future. With take-home around $18,000 to $20,000 a month, the budget structure might look like 30% on needs, roughly 38% on wants and lifestyle, and 32% flowing directly into investments and retirement accounts. That 32% matters. Here's the math. If you're 40 years old, earning $300K, and you invest $6,000 to $6,500 a month with consistent market returns, you are on a path to $9 million or more by traditional retirement age. But wait until 45 to start? Your required savings rate nearly doubles just to reach the same destination. Time is the one tax nobody escapes. This is the income level where advanced strategies pay off enormously. The mega backdoor Roth conversion, routing additional after-tax money through your 401k into tax-free Roth growth, is one of the most powerful tools available to high earners. Tax-free growth on large amounts of capital over 20 or 25 years is genuinely game-changing. Portfolio location matters at $300K. Which investments live in which type of account is a strategy, not an accident. Tax-inefficient assets belong in tax-deferred accounts. Long-term growth assets can live in taxable accounts efficiently. Getting this right is worth tens of thousands of dollars over a lifetime. And at this income level, we start thinking about legacy, basic estate planning, beneficiary designations on every account, whether a trust makes sense, donor-advised funds that let you bundle charitable giving in high-income years for maximum tax benefit. But none of the advanced stuff matters if the foundation isn't solid. A real emergency fund, a $300K, that's $50,000 to $100,000 in liquid reserves, a savings rate that actually reflects your income, and the same discipline that built your career applied just as hard to your money. Here's the thread that runs through all 4 income levels. At 50K, at 100K, at 150K, at 300K, the game is always the same. Keep more than you spend. Invest the difference. Let time and compounding do the heavy lifting. Income creates opportunity, but behavior creates wealth. I've seen people with modest salaries build genuine financial independence by being relentlessly consistent. And I've seen 6-figure earners hit 60 with nothing because they spent every dollar they could justify and never closed the gap between what they earned and what they could have saved. Here's the mindset shift that changes everything. Stop thinking of saving as sacrifice. Start thinking of it as paying your future self, who will need income, who will need options, who will need freedom. Every dollar you invest today is buying future flexibility. And one more thing. Stop comparing your financial life to what you see in other people's visible lives. The person driving the car you're envious of might have 0 net worth. The neighbor with the vacation house might be 1 job loss away from financial disaster. The only scorecard that matters is your own. Is your net worth growing? Is your savings rate increasing? Are you building something? That's it. Your income doesn't determine your financial future. Your system does. The goal isn't to earn more money forever, though that certainly helps. The goal is to build a life where your money eventually works harder than you do, where you wake up and work because you choose to, not because you have to. Whether you're at 50K building the foundation, at 100K learning to protect your savings rate, at 150K fighting lifestyle creep, or at 300K maximizing what you've built, the principles are the same. Live below your means, invest consistently, let time work in your favor, repeat. If this gave you a clearer roadmap for your financial life, subscribe to Alexander Finance. Every day we break down personal finance, investing, and wealth building into practical lessons that actually work in the real world. And if you found your income bracket in today's video, drop it in the comments. I genuinely read all of them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.